To the road to 50 million. Today is the third day that I wanted to talk about some sad things. They're not even sad. They're just parts of life that maybe don't get talked about enough. Maybe they do. Certainly a lot more awareness and discussion than there used to be. But I picked this particular background because of that eyeball right there. Ooh, that eyeball and this sort of cyberpunk future face, right? There's another eyeball there, over there. It looks terrible. Today, I wanted to talk a bit about depression. Depression is a word that gets thrown around a lot. And again, my whole purpose, this road to 50 million, is about helping you to discover the gifts that you have and then to make the choice to serve with those gifts. Now, maybe you'll want to turn that into a business. Maybe you'll want to turn it into a side hustle. Maybe it'll just be something you do because it fills your heart with joy. My mom used to do that. And she never tried to turn it into a business or anything, although she certainly could have been paid. She was paid for part of it, but let me tell you what it was. She loved music. She taught us all to play different instruments, but mostly the piano. And I ended up loving it and being quite good. I've written a lot of music and everything else. Now, there's a bittersweet part of that because being a musician was evil in her mind, and that's a whole different story. But what she did with her love of music is she went into schools, and she would go teach school children, third graders, fourth graders, fifth graders. She would teach them to sing and teach them fun, old songs and stuff, rounds where, and sometimes even harmonies and things like that, teachers and administrators didn't really think they could do because they didn't want to and they were embarrassed and everything. And she had the ability to get them all excited and just doing it. And they would blow away the administrators, the teachers, the parents and everything. And so year after year in multiple schools, she went and did that. And that was her using her gift in music, and actually a more important gift, which is a gift of motivation, to bless the lives of others. Because it taught people not just to sing, but it taught the kids that they could do something, that they could do something they didn't think they could do. They could do something hard. They could do something that was scary, and it taught the teachers and administrators that there was a whole lot more possibility there than they were taking advantage of. Over and over again, year after year. And finally, and this all started after I left home, because during the time I was home, there was, she hadn't really grown up and matured as a person yet. So there was all the beatings and all the things that happened. But she changed later. And it was fun because later, there were two groups of three kids, my older sister, me, and my brother. And then there was quite a space, and then three younger ones. And the three younger ones had a completely different upbringing experience than the three older ones. And that was just because people change. And this isn't the topic about that. But she took that talent and made a fabulous difference. And it was so big that when they moved, after they'd been in the community and all the community schools, that there was a huge write-up in the newspaper in the county, not just the city, but the county had a newspaper as well as the cities had little ones, but there was a county newspaper. There was a big article written up about how she'd done that for years and all the appreciation and on and on and on and on. And she never turned that into money. So I just use that as an example of serving without creating business. But serving with your divine gifts is possible, and it's the way to make the biggest difference in the world. I don't know how many thousands of people that she helped in that regard and the ripple effect that would have gone on from that. She did that for many years. And she was really good at it. And it was recognized and helped a lot of people with their self-esteem and with their musical abilities and everything else. So that's a way that you use your gifts and talents without turning it into money. But there's a million ways to turn it into money. Like I personally know people that have started from nothing and are now multimillionaires. I know them. They're friends. And they've done it in all kinds of different ways, but just by taking gifts and talents that they have, maximizing it, creating products and services, and using this marvel of internet that we have to reach the whole world and to market and sell their wares, whether they're physical goods, tangible goods or intangible things, products and services. Multi-millionaires. I know some. So I know it's possible, and I have clients that I've helped do the same thing. And I do it myself. So I have coaching clients all over the world. I have books that I've written, and they're sold all over the world, and music and everything else. So I know that it's possible, and I know how to do it. So that's the purpose of my helping you discover and serve with your divine gifts. So serve isn't this esoteric, airy-fairy thing where you're just sort of going to a soup kitchen or the church bazaar and doing some service. It is serving or lifting and blessing people with your gifts and talents. And often that involves the exchange of goods and services, money, bartering, but money, hard, cold cash, if you want to. That takes a set of activities. Building a business, starting a business, that's another set of activities, and you can do it based on your gifts and talents. So that's what we're doing here. This is my road to 50 million is I'm committed to help 50 million people discover and serve with their gifts. Maybe they make businesses, maybe they don't. I like it when you do, because until people turn it into money, you know what? They tend to depreciate it. Do you do that? Do you depreciate your value? Well, it's not that big of a deal. When people pay you, then all of a sudden it's a big deal. So that's why I actually encourage people to, and I ask them directly, do you want to turn this into a business, a side hustle, a main hustle? You want to get out of your 9 to 5? What do you want to do with it in your wildest dreams? And almost everyone says, oh, it would be so cool to be paid for what I do, for what I love to do. How exciting is that, right? All right. But point is to serve with your gifts. All right, so now it's really clear about what my 50 million is and what I'm doing here. And you know why? I'm doing it because I'm called to do it. My calling, using my gifts and talents is to encourage and lift and bless people. One of the things I do really well is encourage people. That's why my coaching programs are full. I love encouraging people. I love seeing the gifts, capabilities that you right here, right now have. All right, so that's why we're doing this. Now, today's topic isn't that. It's a barrier to that. The last couple of days have been some specific barriers, abuse and its after effects, addiction. Today is depression. Now, depression and all these can be related, and you probably know that. If you've struggled with any of those things, it has come from or led to bouts of depression. Now, I'm not going to pretend to be a shrink and list the things that classify someone as MDD, major depressive disorder, or some clinical diagnosis. I know what that's like because I have been hardcore, straight-up, severe MDD, had that diagnosis. So I know what it feels like. I know what it looks like. I know what it is to have it. Hardcore, oh my heck, I'm surprised you're still alive. Hardcore, right? None of that's an excuse for anything, because even when we have those things, we still control the levers of our lives. And when I finally had the courage to say to myself, I am broken. This is, not what I want to have. That was the first breakthrough. Because before that, I had made excuses. I had blamed abusive upbringing, and I had blamed all these other things. And you know what? It doesn't matter where it came from. That's the thing. If I just got over having 4 weeks of some kind of an on-again, off-again, low-grade, sometimes high-grade sinus infection that caused aches and pains in my spine for about a foot, neck down, and then, headaches. And so I was on antibiotics and everything else. Did it matter where it came from? Did it matter how I got it? No. What matters is, what am I going to do with it? And when it debilitates you, you lay down and you sleep. And then you go see a doctor and you take some antibiotics. And you do the things required to start to mitigate that, and you let the body do its work. Now, that's a physical ailment. Depression and related things, bipolar and so forth, it is a mental ailment. but there are still steps and processes. Now, it's true we're just getting out of the Stone Ages, Dark Ages, about stigmatizing those things and calling people names and all the rest. But it's also true that there are people who love owning their diagnoses, who love being busted. You know, physical ones that love talking about how this hurts and that hurts and this is broken and they always this, that, and the other. There are people that do the same with mental illnesses. There's a difference between someone who understands that they have something and is diligently looking for a way to fix it, to talk to people, to get at least even a little tiny progress, and someone who says, I'm doomed forever mentally. I can't do it. It'll never work. Well, the never work, doctors tell us, study after study reveals, that the attitude of the patient is hugely determinative of both the speed and the completeness of recovery. Well, that's true with mental as well as physical things. So my work on my own decades, 35 years, undiagnosed, untreated, had horrible consequences, addictions, which I talked about, suicide attempts and everything else. My breakthrough came when I said, I'm busted and I'm done with this. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to start. I don't know where to go. I don't know, but I'm not staying here. I'm done. So I went to doctors and I said, I'm busted. We got to do something. It shrinks. This doesn't work. Took some tests, did whatever it was, because I said, I don't care who knows. I don't care who calls me names. I don't care who thinks I'm pretending, and all those things really happened. I even had doctors say, well, you can't be depressed. You're a motivational speaker. Well, that's like saying Robin Williams can't be depressed because he's a comedian. He killed himself. Okay, nonsense. It is what it is, and you are where you are. But what I know for sure is you can start doing something about it. And my growth and getting over the depression part didn't start at all until I said just that. I'm done. I don't know, and that saying it didn't make it go away, but what it did is it changed the game for me. It moved me from I'm a victim, I'm broken, I can never fix this, it'll be this way forever, to I don't know how to do it, I don't know who to talk to, I don't know how long it's going to take, and I don't know the path, but I'm not staying here. Sure as hell, I'm finished with what I've been doing for the last 35 years. I'm done. And I had to say that over and over again. But then that allowed me to become vulnerable. Look, I'm busted. I don't care if you call me names or whatever you say. We're going to find something. And then go to talk to somebody, this person, and I talked to him for a few sessions, yeah, whatever. Another person, until I found someone who could help me do things that began with, talk therapy, that sort of thing. And I tried medications and on and off. But the point wasn't the medications or the talk therapy or the meditation, which I did a lot of, and I researched body chemistry and even raw cocoa and andamide, the bliss molecule, and holistic methods, and the list is really, really long. But I wasn't looking to the things to fix the problem. I was going to fix the problem with those tools. And if things didn't work, and they didn't, some had side effects. I hated this, I hated that. But I took an active, wildly active, controlling role in my own healing and growth. Not because I knew what to do, and not because it was easy, and not because it was fast, but I simply said, I'm done being here for decades. I'm done blaming. I'm done living at the mercy of. And that doesn't mean it all goes away, and it doesn't mean you don't have those feelings, but it means that I also had better days. It means I also had little breakthroughs. So that means I could see a little higher, a little further. That gave me hope. Okay? So on our road to 50 million, discovering and developing and serving with your gifts and creating purpose, prosperity, and joy, you're going to have setbacks. I talked about depression specifically today because that was one of mine, but yours will be what it is, because all these videos and things are about you. So I want you to hear yourself in there and say, what is my stuck point? What's the name of my excuse or reason? And I'm not minimizing those things. So don't hear that and create another excuse. My depression was real. The effects were real. The suicide attempts were real. The addictions were real. What changed is when I said, I'm done. I'm going to take control and keep playing with these levers till I move an inch. and then another inch, and another inch. It's like Al Pacino in the football thing where he gave a speech as a coach. I think it's Any Given Sunday or something. And he gave a fabulous speech as a coach. And of course, Pacino's a great actor. But he talked about it's a game of inches. And we fight and die for that inch. Well, when I took that attitude about my own life, I started finding inches. I started finding inches. And I clawed at them and kept them. And you know what? They accumulate. There is a way through. There is a way past. And there is a silver lining. And you know what it is? Every pain, every struggle, every battle scar, every pool of blood on the floor, every trip through hell makes us more empathetic, more patient, more loving, and better at what we do, which is to love and serve. So I wouldn't trade any of my mistakes. I wouldn't trade any of the blood on the floor. That's a phrase that I use to mean a hard thing. I wouldn't trade any of those for anything. They shaped me. They made me who I am. I love it. I love me, and I love you. I'm here to help you discover and serve with your gifts. I'm doing a video every day to talk about it because I'm on this road, and I've committed to help 50 million. I'd love you to be one of them. See you tomorrow on the road to 50 million.